A billionaire laughed at a Maid son, and that mistake almost cost him $100 million. Inside a luxury penthouse, an unbreakable safe suddenly refused to open. Not a normal safe, one holding diamonds, secret documents, and crypto worth over $100 million. Top engineers tried everything. Biometrics failed. Overrides failed. Time was running out. Then the billionaire pointed at the maid's teenage son and mocked him. "What do you know, kid? Think you can open it?" The boy looked at the safe and said calmly, "It's not broken, it's confused." The room went silent. He explained the internal clock had shifted by seconds. Listened to the steel. Typed a few commands. Click. The safe opened, and the billionaire realized the person he mocked was the only one who could save everything. Silence fell like thunder in the penthouse. Not the peaceful kind, but the heavy, suffocating silence that makes even the most powerful people uneasy. The room sat 50 floors above the city, surrounded by glass walls and golden sunlight. At its center stood a massive black steel safe, taller than a refrigerator and bolted deep into the marble floor. It wasn't just a safe, it was a fortress. Custom-built, triple-layered, biometric-locked, and designed to survive fires, floods, and even explosions. Inside were documents capable of shaking global markets, rare diamonds, encrypted crypto keys, and assets worth over $100 million. And now it wouldn't open. Arthur Beaumont, billionaire industrialist and owner of the penthouse, stood with his jacket tossed aside and his tie loosened. Sweat rolled down his temple, something that rarely happened. His confidence, normally unbreakable, was cracking. Around him stood the best experts money could buy. Security engineers flown in overnight, cyber specialists, lock designers with decades of experience. Laptops buzzed. Scanners blinked. Voices whispered urgently. Override failed. Scan rejected. System locked. "This is impossible," one engineer murmured under his breath. Arthur snapped back instantly. "I didn't hire you to say impossible. I hired you to eliminate it." Minutes stretched into hours. Each failed attempt tightened the knot in Arthur's chest. Every second the safe stayed locked felt like a personal insult. Then Arthur noticed someone standing near the doorway. Rosa, his longtime housemaid, stood quietly with her hands folded. Beside her was a teenage boy. Plain clothes, calm posture, sharp eyes that didn't wander like a bored kid should. Arthur frowned. "Why is he here?" Rosa lowered her gaze. "Sir, I had no one to leave him with today." Arthur scoffed. "Fantastic. A maid and her kid watching millionaires fail." A few experts forced uncomfortable smiles. The boy didn't respond. He didn't look embarrassed. He was staring at the safe, studying it, as if it were speaking a language only he understood. Arthur paced the room, anger spilling out with every step. "I build companies. I crush markets. I influence governments," he growled. "And now a metal box humiliates me?" His eyes landed on the boy again, and he let out a cold laugh. "What about you, kid?" Arthur sneered. "Play video games all day. Think you can open this with a cheat code?" A few nervous chuckles echoed around the room. The boy stayed silent for a moment, then spoke calmly. "May I look at it, sir?" The room froze. Arthur turned sharply. "What did you say?" "I'd like to look at the safe," the boy repeated, his voice steady. Arthur burst out laughing. "This safe has defeated engineers with PhDs. Sit down before you embarrass yourself." Rosa gently touched her son's arm. "Daniel, please." But Daniel didn't back down. His eyes never left the safe. "You said it's biometric and time-synced, right?" Daniel asked. One expert blinked. "Yes, how do you know that?" Daniel pointed to a faint seam near the scanner. "That model uses a dual entropy cycle. If the internal clock drifts, even by 2 seconds, it locks itself permanently." The room went quiet. Arthur's laughter died instantly. "How old are you?" Arthur asked. 16, Daniel replied. "And the safe isn't broken." Arthur narrowed his eyes. "Then what is it?" Daniel answered softly. "It's confused." A security engineer whispered. "Sir, he's right. That design does use that system." Arthur hesitated. Pride wrestled with panic. Finally, he exhaled sharply. 5 minutes. Touch nothing you shouldn't. Daniel nodded and stepped forward. Daniel didn't rush. He didn't act excited. He acted focused. He leaned close to the safe, not to touch it, but to listen. The room fell silent again as he placed his ear against the steel. The power surged this morning, Daniel said calmly. It desynced the internal timer. Every failed override pushed it further out of alignment. One engineer's eyes widened. That explains everything. Daniel pulled a small notebook from his pocket, flipping to a page filled with neat calculations. May I use the terminal? He asked. Arthur nodded slowly, unsure if he was witnessing brilliance or insanity. Daniel typed carefully, not forcing commands, not hacking, just correcting, adjusting the delay, realigning the internal clock cycle. 30 seconds, Daniel said quietly. The room held its breath. Daniel placed his thumb on the scanner. Click. Whir. Thunk. The safe door opened. No alarms. No errors. No warnings. Just gasps. Arthur stood frozen, staring at the open safe, as if reality had cracked open with it. You opened it, Arthur whispered. Daniel stepped back. Yes, sir. For the first time in years, Arthur Beaumont was speechless. Arthur slowly turned to Rosa. Why didn't you tell me your son was a genius? He asked quietly. Rosa smiled sadly. You never asked, sir. Daniel explained that he'd been fixing broken electronics since age 10. He learned from discarded manuals, broken devices, and endless curiosity. No tutors. No labs, Daniel said. Just observation. Arthur felt something unfamiliar twist in his chest. Shame. He remembered laughing at the boy, dismissing him, mocking his presence. That same boy had just saved his entire fortune. Arthur took a deep breath. Daniel, would you accept a scholarship? An internship at my company? Daniel looked at his mother first, then back at Arthur. I'd like an opportunity, he said. Not charity. Arthur nodded. You've earned more than that. That day, Arthur Beaumont didn't just recover his wealth. He recovered a lesson. Talent doesn't wear expensive suits. Intelligence doesn't shout. And greatness often stands quietly, until someone listens. Daniel went on to study engineering and later led one of Arthur's most advanced security divisions. Rosa never cleaned another floor again. And Arthur, he changed forever, because the day a billionaire mocked a maid's son was the day he learned never to underestimate what you don't understand.